So I got an exciting video for you today because I did some research and I'm going to tell you about it. So, what I did was that yesterday I just had this weird gut feeling in me because I was looking at the new NASA discovery, right? And I just hate NASA. I love to talk about how much they suck and how much they've been a front for the New World Order. NASA, never a straight answer, right? And I was thinking, I'm like, okay, NASA, right? They got this new soft disclosure discovery of 7 Earth-like planets surrounding a star 39 light years away. There's something fishy about this. Because NASA, I mean, brief history, NASA was set up right after World War II when a bunch of German scientists were shoveled into America under Operation Paperclip. And they've been a front for suppression of the UFO disclosure and extraterrestrial issue for the last 60 or 70 years. So obviously there's going to be something fishy about them. And the elite always like to hide truth in plain sight. That's one of their MOs. That's something they always do for many different reasons. I'll discuss those in another video. But they like to hide the truth in plain sight. And even with NASA, right? You look at the logo of NASA. I'll put it right here for a sec. There's literally a reptile tongue, the end of a reptile tongue, and the little red stripes in that logo. So truth in plain sight right there. Because even above the elites of the elites, even above the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, we have malevolent reptilian extraterrestrials above them called the Draco that really run things. So that's the deepest of the deep. I don't bullshit on this channel. Anyway, so I Googled what they called these new dwarf 7 Earth-like planets that they found. They call them Trappist, Trappist. So I Googled that. I Googled Trappist occult meaning, and just on a whim, and it brought me to this forum, this a very popular conspiracy forum per se, and it brought me there. And the title of the forum was, "Why is nobody talking about the symbolism of this new NASA discovery?" Bingo, that's what I was looking for. And it was the only link that popped up in that Google search. So interesting enough, nobody's talking about it, which is why I want to do a video on it, because it's really freaking interesting. So they call it Trappist. What Trappist is, and what I found linked in this forum, began digging a little more. Trappist is a twin order of the Knights Templar. The Trappist group, otherwise called the Cistercians or the Cistercians, you guys know how good I am at pronouncing shit on this channel. We'll call them the Cistercians, or we'll just call them the Trappists. These guys basically broke off from the Knights Templar in about 1100 and did a lot of dealings with them, actually. They didn't separate on bad terms, but the Cistercians, or these Trappist people, they were essentially a much more, you could say, not quite as fancy version of the Knights Templar. They wore all white robes. They didn't flash their gold and flash their stuff as much. They didn't quite get into as many battles as the Knights Templar did, but they did a lot of the same stuff. They were very rich. They were very wealthy. They were free of taxes and free of the subjugation, much like the Knights Templar in that time period. So we have NASA, the affront, a psyop by the elite, calling their newfound soft disclosure discovery the Trappist, which is essentially a occult group in the elites. Now, where does this lead me? Where am I taking this? Well, I'm going to read an excerpt from the blog that I found that I will post down below, and I'll try to connect some dots in this video for you, because sometimes people give me shit for not doing my own research. I just they accuse me, some trolls have accused me of being some type of just repeater of information, and nothing new comes from this. I'm not quite as left brain as a lot of people. I don't do as much hardcore research, but what I do is right brain stuff. I try to connect the dots for you with these. So anyway, I'm going to read this, and it literally says from this, it was from a Knights Templar website. I'll link it down below. The connection with the Templars is not merely one of coincidence. The very rule of the Templar order held this monastic institution in the highest regard, and there is no doubt many cooperating ventures between the two, between the Trappists and the Knight Templars. For example, if a knight was expelled from the order of the Templars, he did not merely just rejoin a secular life. He was not banished back into the Muggle world. The knight was required to seek shelter in a Cistercian or a Trappist monastery in hopes that he could be rehabilitated. In fact, one Templar master who quit the order sought shelter in one of the mainstays of the Cistercians and lived out the rest of his life in balance there. Now, what's important to understand and what I think the powers that be are trying to symbolize in a very hush-hush manner, which is why I want to warn you, why I'm talking about it, is that, well, what have the elite been trying? What have they been planning? What do they want to pull on humanity? They want to pull their partial disclosure bait and switch because they know people are waking up. They know that their time is nearing and they have to pull a stunt. They have to pull some type of false flag in hopes of retaining their power. What's that false flag going to be? Well, much talk has been it's going to involve Antarctica. It's going to involve some type of partial disclosure of the extraterrestrial issue, right? They'll unveil some of their special access projects, some of their really advanced technology they've been working on, but not all of it. They got to keep some of it hidden to try and retain their power. And also, not only this, but I've been talking to some people, and they might also try and pull a partial disclosure of the pedogate and the Pizzagate arrests. So they'll only round up maybe a few of the mid-level elites or throw some people under the bus, right? John Podesta and the Clinton group is getting thrown under the bus right now. So they'll have some mass arrests, but not of everybody. They'll disclose a lot of technology and history, but not all of it. So this way, a great term I've heard this described before, it's going to be a new, same party girl, just a different dress. They're going to try to retain, the deep dark elites are going to try to retain their power with this partial disclosure and try to wow everybody and be like, oh, okay, you know, and they'll hopes they'll get some type of easy retribution or still maintain their power with some secrecy. We can't let that happen. And why I think they called this new discovery Trappist was because, well, what did the Knights Templar do when they were kicked out of the order? They had to rebrand themselves and rehabilitate themselves, right? That's what the powers that be are just about to try and pull. They're going to try to rebrand themselves, right? They're literally telling us with this soft disclosure discovery, and everywhere you look when the mainstream media talks about Trappist, they mention ETs, right? They mention possibility of extraterrestrial life. It's not like it's been here for eons already. But so what they're telling us, what they're symbolically telling us with this NASA discovery is that they are going to rebrand themselves. They're going to disclose extraterrestrial life in hopes to pull this partial disclosure. That's what I wanted to tell you and what I wanted to warn you about with this video. And it was very interesting to me that I would find this Trappist discovery and the links to it. So anyway, I'll post. You guys can feel free to keep searching down the rabbit holes and see what else you can find about this. But I think it is. I think that's why they specifically called it Trappist, is because the hardcore, deep down elites want to rebrand themselves, but we can't let them. So share this information. There's, full disclosure is the only option. It's the only. It's what humanity deserves right now. So we have to make that happen. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little overview of the research that I did yesterday, of the kind of rabbit holes that my intuition took me down. If you want to keep supporting the investigations that I do, there's a lot of links under this channel in which you can do that. And I want to tell you guys, thank you for all of your support, for your any of you guys with your nice words to share, any of you that have been sharing this information, and any of you that have been passing your information along to me as well. Some of you guys have emailed me research or just questions and everything like that. I appreciate it all. No matter what you guys do, contribution or not, I appreciate you guys. So anyway, peace out. More to come.